Peace and love, everyone. Welcome again to another reflection on art and the creative process. I hope everyone is doing well, creative. Happy New Year. I hope 2022 is, amidst all things that it can be, at least a year of creative exaltation, creative ascensions, creative openings. That's really most important. I wanted to share some thoughts on what art can tell us about faith. Sort of a idea has been on my mind recently that I believe is important. What draws people to art, specifically what draws people to become artists, is when they see the height of what artists can accomplish. So someone is drawn to become a painter if they come across Picasso's work, if they come across Matisse's work, Cézanne, Michelangelo, any of these great artists, masters of the craft, saints of the craft. Somebody might be drawn to become an actor when they watch Al Pacino perform, or a cinematographer, or a producer, or a director when they watch a documentary about David Lynch or Steven Spielberg or any Guillermo del Toro or any of these greats of the craft, the masters of the craft. Somebody is drawn to become a musician when they hear Jimi Hendrix, hear Adele or hear the Beatles. The point is, no one is drawn to a craft, an art, by watching someone practice the law of the craft. Like no one, you never see somebody, it might happen, but in general, no one is drawn, no one would be, enraptured to become a musician if they hear a singer just do scales up and down. Or see a painter just do lines on the canvas, practicing his brush strokes. It could happen if that artist happens to be just out of this world, one in a chance. But in general, we're enraptured by an art form once we see the height of what it can accomplish. The summit. There is they say the siren song at the summit. Once we're drawn by the siren song at the summit of an artist's journey, a craft, then we feel the pull. Even if we still haven't climbed from the bottom, we feel the pull to start working our way up. Now the question is, why is it in matters of faith there is this fear of teaching or telling people about what that siren song at the summit is? And instead, we expect people to struggle at the bottom. Teach people the basics, they say. Teach people about law. Teach people how to play the scales of religion. Musical scales. Teach people the grammar of religion. But don't teach them poetry yet. Don't let them read poetry. Teach people scales, but don't let them listen to music. Not yet. Teach people how to hold a brush, how to make a brush strokes. Teach them about the circle of colors, but don't show them any paintings because they're not ready for that yet. And yet we know intuitively what art teaches us is that no one can ever be enraptured by art unless they see and they hear the siren song at the summit. So art is a remnants of an ancient time. It actually shows us how faith was practiced in ancient times amongst the ancients. That there was this draw and this appreciation and this understanding that people have to be drawn to the way to attract people to faith, if that is your thing, is to the siren song at the summit. Tell them about the peak at the mountain peak. The metaphysical principles, the reality. And only if that attracts them will they be motivated to climb from the base. And art can teach us that about everything in life. I mean, think about yourself. I know about myself. I've been drawn to many different crafts by seeing people perform saintly works through them. At one point, I wanted to whittle. I wanted to be a woodworker. And it's because I saw a woodworker, carve these amazing figurines out of wood. Or a carpenter, because I saw someone make perfect furniture with really exquisite decorations. I would never be attracted to whittling or woodworking or carpentry if I saw someone just make 2x4s all day and clean them. That would become attractive to me later on, once I see myself progressing. But in order for me to be attracted to take on the path, I have to hear that siren song at the summit. And this is a fact of life. And one of the reasons why faith and faith traditions are suffering today is because they have forgotten about that. They teach the basics and they remain at the basics, whereas people are thirsty. And that's why art is a great outlet. Because where many faith communities fail, art is still there. It speaks to those hearts that are crying for that mysticism, that process, that ability to communicate with the ineffable and to engage in that process of translating that ineffable into something tangible. So this was a short reflection on what art can tell us about faith. I hope it was helpful. I hope you stay creative. Try and stay creative every moment of your life. Write if you can, paint if you can, play music, do all three. I'll probably do another live stream later on about the importance for every artist to have multiple art forms that communicate with one another, and how that can be tremendously helpful. But do all that, do the work. Whatever work it is that you're meant to do in life, do it. Don't expect approval. Don't expect money. Just do it. All will come. Whether you believe in God or whether you believe in a higher power, whether you believe the universe is trying to tell you something, just do the work. And everything else will fall in place. If you're unable to do your work that you feel passionate about from your own heart, then how can you expect this inspiration to trust you when later on you might get 20 assignments or 300 commissions to do a painting? You can't afford to say, well, I'm not ready. I don't feel like doing it today. Inspiration is there. Inspiration is not there. Do the work. Do the work. And the days when the inspiration is not there and you get up and you do the work, that is when you show gratitude for the days when the inspiration is there. I repeat, when the inspiration is not there and you do the work, you struggle, that is the gratitude you show for when the inspiration is there. And when the inspiration is there, it's a great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, as Spider-Man says. As Uncle Ben says, tell Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So do the work. And we'll have cause to speak about that later on. Thank you so much for everybody joining. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Peace and love.